Your top 3 safest investments.
Real estate, and real estate.
Because when I buy a building with an address, if it's in the right location, it will be here 20 years from now. I'm not buying Bitcoin. I don't know anything about Bitcoin, man. You want to give me some Bitcoin? I'll take it.
Look, I love Grant Cardone, don't get me wrong. He heavily invests in his own businesses to generate cash flow and property. But guess what's just happened recently? He's now investing in Bitcoin.
Full-time wages in Australia have just passed a historic milestone, with the average take-home pay for full-time workers now more than $2,000 a week.
God, if I was earning $2,000 a week, seriously, I'd be crying right now. That is shocking.
Personally, I think Bitcoin's gonna hit between 150 to 200K.
Guys, don't get overexcited though, because these price predictions, they come and go. I take these price predictions like a grain of salt. Ultimately, I know that Bitcoin is going up into the right, into the future. But whether it hits 150, 200, or even 250 in this cycle, I'm not selling. I'm holding Bitcoin for the long term. I'm Matthew Fraser, and this is Crypto Collective. After making millions with Amazon and e-commerce, I realized that if I was starting again today, crypto would be my first choice. I'm here to help you take your first steps and build real wealth. Ready to set yourself up for life? Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Crypto Collective, where we jump into the reactions, the stuff that everybody loves. Let's jump into it.
Your top 3 safest investments.
Real estate, and real estate.
Because when I buy a building with an address, if it's in the right location, it will be here 20 years from now. I'm not buying Bitcoin. I don't know anything about Bitcoin, man. You want to give me some Bitcoin? I'll take it. I'm not buying Twitter stock.
Give me the Bitcoin. Grant, give us the Bitcoin.
I only invest in things that I know will be there in the future. The Bank of America will lend me money to buy an apartment deal, but they won't lend me money to buy their own stock. Think about that. A bank will lend me money to buy a piece of property, but they will not lend me money to buy Bitcoin.
Well, there's now financial institutions that will lend money on Bitcoin, and it's happening right now in Australia. Let's see what else Grant says though, because I think he's a little bit slow on this video.
They won't even lend me money to buy a Bank of America stock. So what do they believe in? Cash flow, man. They believe in cash flow. Any asset that generates cash flow into the future is going to be worth more money. What do I invest in? Y'all see where I'm putting all my money. That's all I talk about.
And you know what else? I now realize this video is actually quite old. Grant Cardone, who is look, I love Grant Cardone, don't get me wrong, but he is an absolute property king, and he heavily invests in his own businesses to generate cash flow and property. But guess what's just happened recently? He's now investing in Bitcoin, and he's utilizing Bitcoin to team up with and partner with his property. Now, isn't that interesting? What does Grant know that you don't know?
There are so many distractions, people. We need to pay attention to what really matters. The US dollar is down 11% since the start of the year, and that is not good for American business. That is not good for the American consumer. Now, for a place like Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, where we're on the AED, the dirham, we're pegged to the dollar. So what you bought before, you can buy now. But everything else is at least 11% higher. That's not good. And those countries now get an 11% discount buying against the dollar, which is going to diminish us even more over time. What is the goal? Why would any administration want to diminish the dollar? Is there an ulterior motive? There's a reason I'm making a Linico Cafe right now. I'm working and I'm tired. So what is that ulterior motive? I can't tell you what it is. I can speculate. I can speculate that they're trying to crash the dollar as much as possible and replace it with a federalized cryptocurrency, which will be controlled, governed, and distributed by none other than the most corrupt people in the world. That doesn't sound very good.
Well, let me just pause it there, because he's talked about the US wanting to bring in a cryptocurrency as its reserve. Now, if we're talking about the same thing, the US government does want to bring in a Bitcoin strategic reserve. What's interesting about that though is it's not controlled by anybody. Bitcoin is completely decentralized. It's not run or controlled by any government, any president, any dictator, any nation state, any company, any CEO, nobody. The power in Bitcoin is the fact that it's decentralized, and you can actually help control the network by having your own node and owning Bitcoin. So already he's off the mark. Let's see what else he says though.
That doesn't sound very beneficial. That sounds like a further extension of the middle going closer to the lower and the upper sky.
And also the US under President Trump has said they're not going to support a CBDC, which would be a central bank digital currency. And that's what Trump is against.
Rocketing up. And we already know that the upper percentage of the earners in the United States don't actually earn their money from doing anything like a job. They earn it from investments. They earn it from dividends. They earn it from investments. And so if you're investing in a crypto and you're going to then federalize a crypto, you got to pick one, two. What are you going to pick? Maybe you're going to allow several. Maybe there's not going to be a singular federalized one. Maybe it'll be a federalized crypto system. And some cryptocurrencies will be accepted and some will be banned. Well, which ones are going to be banned? The ones that weren't invested on by this guy? Which ones are going to go through? The ones that were invested? Why are they tanking the dollar? It hasn't even been 11 months, so at least a percentage, 1.1% per month, every month, decrease. That's terrible. So what's the solution? I can't tell you what the solution is.
Let's hear the solution.
So, I mean, I know the Epstein stuff matters. I know there's a lot of things that matter. And that's why they're using these distractions. These distractions are things that should be addressed. But it's like at the company, right? Like, I was talking to somebody yesterday at our company, and he's like, you guys...
No, he's not even getting the solution. I wonder if they're trying to tank the dollar because it's got something to do with the US debt.
Do you want to know why Bitcoin is banned in China? It's because it's a scam. It's like a biggest scam there is.
Here we go. We're gonna just straight off the bat. I know we're gonna get a ton of people in the comments now. Yeah, he's right. Bitcoin is a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, go for it. Go on, put the comments in. Yeah.
The idea is great. The tech is great, but we just use it to scam each other. Like it's like the biggest pyramid scheme. And we're all in it together. That's weird.
And we're all in it together. It says here, Bitcoin is banned in China. You know what? I can't even keep up. Bitcoin is being banned in China, then it's approved, then it's banned again. What we do know though, is Bitcoin is dematerializing everything right now. And everyone is allocating to Bitcoin. You think you can hurt me? I bought £10,000 worth of Bitcoin in 2010 and forgot my password. Well guys, you must not forget your password. Now remember, because Bitcoin is decentralized, there is no Bitcoin hotline. You can't just pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I've lost my passwords to my Bitcoin. Can you help me out? No, but that's the beauty of Bitcoin is you can self-custody your own Bitcoin. To get around that, hold your Bitcoin on a crypto exchange just like CoinStash. Hey guys, real quick, if you're ready to take your crypto investments to the next level, check out Imperial Wealth. They'll show you their entire portfolio, share tips from their most successful moves, and their 35-person team watches the market 24/7 and recently tipped a coin that 5x'd in just 4 days. Click the link in the show notes to learn more. Now back to the episode.
Moonbeam ice cream, taking off your blue jeans, dancing at the movies, 'cause it feels so mystical, magical, oh baby, 'cause once you know my love.
Damn, you're keeping up with this? Check out these returns. Now, anyone who's been investing in the S&P 500 right now, I'm not feeling so good for you, right? And no doubt you'll say, yeah, but Bitcoin's a total scam. Always from those people that wish they had allocated to Bitcoin in the past. Bitcoin is expected to continue growing at a compound annual growth rate of at least 29% per annum. Totally insane. And that's why you need to allocate to Bitcoin.
Full-time wages in Australia have just passed a historic milestone, with the average take-home pay for full-time workers now more than $2,000 a week.
$2,000 a week? Holy smoke, that's heaps. That's freaking heaps. I remember when I was like 19, my dream was to get to $1,000 a week. I thought if I got $1,000 a week, I've made it. Yeah. Now it's $2,000 a week. Bloody hell, people are rich.
Data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics reveals the average adult working full-time earns $2,011 a week before tax.
How does anyone even survive on that?
Last year. Men averaging $2,100 a week, while women average $1,800 a week.
God, if I was earning $2,000 a week, seriously, I'd be crying. I'd be crying right now. That is shocking. And how do people even live on that stuff? You know how much rent is these days, a mortgage? you know, groceries. You go to the grocery store right now, 4 items is like $100. You cannot live on a wage like that. So how do you get out of it? You've got to start allocating, if you possibly can, to the best performing asset that there is, which is Bitcoin. It's the only way out of the matrix.
Bitcoin is currently sitting at $113,400, and we've had a higher low confirmation break above the 5-hour 200 moving average, and right now we're back testing it, which is a very, very good thing. Now, ultimately, the next big piece of resistance is going to be right here at 118,000. If we can get that, I think that this is confirmation of a reversal and a trend reverse. And we would have, in this case, a higher low as well as a higher high, ultimately putting Bitcoin into October, which we know October and November are the highest performing months for Bitcoin's history. The average return for Bitcoin is 29% in October, followed by 40%. That to me would kick off real deal euphoria, especially knowing where we're at in the money flow. My next major target is Bitcoin getting, once it gets above 118, is into the 130s, and I think that would take Solana and Ethereum into price discovery, which it's hard to articulate.
We love price discovery.
Guys. The difference in sentiment with Ethereum being at 4,200 versus 5,200, but it will flip it completely, utterly, euphorically on its head from maximum fear, pessimism to max out your credit cards.
Do not do that. Do not do that. Guys, totally insane. I can't wait for October and November. But are you allocated to Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana? Or all of them? Let me know in the comments.
Personally, I think Bitcoin's gonna hit between 150 to 200K.
Damn.
Whether it happens this year or next year, if you look at the charts and the graphs and you go back, the bull run isn't supposed to be in full swing until 2025. The reason it feels that way is because Bitcoin has surpassed its previous all-time high prior to the halving. If you go back to 2020, Bitcoin dropped down to $3,000. We didn't start seeing Bitcoin hit all-time highs till 2021, which ultimately would be 2025. Things are kind of going a lot higher, a lot faster than I had even predicted. It's a little scary, actually. I really think we're gonna have a super cycle this time.
Super cycle. I love the word super cycle. Guys, don't get overexcited though, because you know these price predictions, they come and go. I take these price predictions like a grain of salt. Ultimately, I know that Bitcoin is going up into the right, into the future. But whether it hits 150, 200, or even 250 in this cycle, I'm not selling. I'm holding Bitcoin for the long term.
If I had
it's my man. It's my man, Ben.
I would invest it in cryptocurrency right now. 50% I would allocate to Bitcoin. At the moment, we're at about $88,000. People think it's expensive, but I believe Bitcoin's going to go in the hundreds of thousands in the next few years, and one day we'll get to $1 million. I'm going to put 25% in Ethereum. I think Ethereum is super undervalued. I've been buying it since $80. It's currently at $3,200. I think that's going to go towards $7,500.
I don't have any Ethereum. Sorry, Ben.
In Sui, I think Sui is an underrated next-gen layer 1 blockchain. I think it's going to do unbelievably well.
Maybe the super cycle.
A lot of upside to come. I'm going to put 10% in Solana. Solana is also one of those assets that have been around for a little while. Continues to be where a majority of the meme coins are being invested on, and I think it's going to have a lot more attention. And then also I'm going to allocate a little bit to meme coins. In the meme coins, I'm going to...
No, Ben, don't do it. Don't allocate to the meme coins. Look, I would agree with him. You know, definitely put the majority of your stack into Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, maybe a little bit into Solana. I think Solana, though, is currently the Ethereum killer. It is proven to be, certainly in the tokenomics of that. However, just remember, putting your money into meme coins is an absolute gamble. If you're prepared to lose it, go the meme coins. Hey guys, thank you for joining me on this episode of Reactions. If you want to see more information about crypto, Bitcoin, or even how to move your superannuation into Bitcoin, make sure you see in the show notes a link to my exclusive Crypto Collective community. I'll see you there. Thanks for tuning in to Crypto Collective. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to show your support is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. You can also find more of me at I'm Matthew Fraser on all social media platforms.